Hey yo, welcome back to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs. Real quick before we start the episode, would like to give a quick moment of silence for AIW family member, co-owner of AIW, Christopher Bryan, Chandler Biggins. Real quick moment of silence.
If there's anything that Chandler would want, I don't think it would be to be silent.
Not a moment of silence?
No. I think Chandler was a lot of things, but I don't know if silent was one of them. I don't know if silence would do him any justice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the stories I've heard, he was not the quietest guy at shows when he thought about something. When he thought something, had an opinion.
No, he's definitely pulled no punches with people. Today, we're actually recording this. Today is the 6-year anniversary of his passing. Just crazy to think about that, honestly. I was talking to his mom yesterday, and I said, you could have told me this happened 25 years ago, and I'd believe you, and you could have told me this happened 25 days ago, and I would believe you. It's just like this weird, no sense of time really makes sense about the whole thing. It's just like, it feels like a lifetime. It feels like yesterday all at once. Just pretty crazy, man. I don't know. It's just, it's weird to think that he's been, gone for 6 years. And, there's just, seeing just the, tributes and, different things, people still talking about him, remembering him this week. The fact that, Missy Hyatt kind of started it off on Twitter. He would absolutely love that.
Yeah, he definitely
yesterday.
Get a big pop from that.
Man, what a just crazy couple days it has been already this week. It's, I don't want to be all doom and gloom and bring the mood down, but,
right.
It's, it's crazy to just think it's been 6 years.
Yeah, some moment of silence or not, I just figured we had to do something. I had to at least mention it on the day of his passing. I want to give him that respect.
Yeah, fuck, man, just crazy. Went slept for a little bit after work today because I was just needed to decompress from everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. It's just been a whirlwind of just emotions and it was a lot to take in, and not to mention I probably had about 27 beers yesterday at Raw.
27?
I don't know, it was quite a bit.
That rocks.
It was before, it was during, it was after.
Yeah. One of those marathon drinking.
It was a long day. Also needed to re-energize from that. But yeah, it was just I tweeted a little bit ago. I'm just man, I've come to realize that social media is absolutely worthless for real famous people because my phone is just melting, and you can't even just keep up between my Twitter account and the AIW account, and then everything getting tagged on Facebook and Instagram. It's just there's been so much going out there. It's impossible to keep up and read everything. So many people have said so many nice things about Chandler and just AIW, and man, it's just it's crazy to see, and it's it's something. I'm trying to think of how to say this, but it's sometimes I kind of wonder what is AIW's place in the industry? Does anybody even know we exist? Do people not know we exist? Do people care that we exist? And yesterday it was just you know what? We have done some things, you know what I mean? And it was so just indescribable to be sitting there while this whole thing went down in the ring on Monday Night Raw, and like, man, but it's just like also like, you know, Corey Graves is on commentary and he's texting me from commentary because he sees me, you know, like there's just all this other weird stuff going on, and it's just like, you know, I always go through this thing, and I feel like AIW's never really been given, you know, the recognition for, you know, whatever we've done. Not that it even really matters, you know what I mean? Like we're just never, you know what I mean? We're never the top conversation ever. And that's fine, but like that does get, you know, everybody within the crew, you know what I mean? Like you experience those lulls of like, man, like, what are we doing this for? Does anybody even care? You know what I mean? Like, and then like yesterday, it kind of like put it all in perspective. Like, man, like we have done some really great things and like made incredible relationships all throughout the industry and friendships. And, you know, I think what happened yesterday after Raw really kind of cemented that.
Yeah, it was really cool to see, and it was kind of what you're saying about like AIW, I feel like, has touched a lot of people from the commentary booth to like there's people in the nosebleeds who were, you know, you retweeted videos of the promo that Kevin, or I shouldn't even say promo, but speech, whatever that he gave, you know, as people all over the arena. And I feel like that's like a genuine, like, you know, tell of what AIW is. Like it's reached people as big as, like you said, Corey Graves at the commentary table or Kevin Owens in the ring, to like even like just your average fan who's like up in the nosebleeds. Like they start talking about you and AIW and a fan. Hey, I know that company. You know what I mean? And it's like we really, you really.
Yeah. It was like it was crazy because I mean stuff like that just doesn't happen in WWE. You know, like when he started talking, I thought that maybe it would be kind of like a vague. You know what I mean? Like a vague little like wink thing, you know what I mean? And like it was just like it wasn't, you know what I mean? He
said your full name.
He mentioned me, he mentioned Chris, he mentioned AIW, you know what I mean? Like, and then like came over and like hugged me, and I was just like, that was just like a lot. That was like, dude, like that was like emotions, you know what I mean? Like I like it was like I started, you know, I was crying in the front row of Monday Night Raw. You know, like I never thought that would be a thing that happened.
Yeah, you didn't have that on your bingo card, crying at Raw, huh?
No, like I was just like, you know, and like I thought, you know, like I said, I thought it was going to be like a, you know, wink sort of thing, like, hey, this one's for you, buddy, or something. You know what I mean? Nothing super specific. And like as it got more specific, I was just like, this is just like it was overwhelming, man. Like this sort of thing just does not happen. And you know, like the crowd is popping when he says AIW, and it's like, dude, it's like we're Raw, it's like fucking packed. Yeah. You know, so it's like then I start thinking like, oh, you motherfuckers don't come to the AIW shows. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Where are you at when the tickets are being sold, fuckers?
But no, it was just like it was so awesome. Like you just can't. You know, Kevin Owens is just like a 1 in a million person. You know, he didn't have to do that. You know, he had reached out to me last week. And, you know, he said, hey, is this still Patty's phone number? And I said, yeah, because he has, like, stayed in contact with Chandler's mom over the years. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
They've never met. But, you know, and, like, I'm not trying to blow a spot up. You know, when Chandler died, like, Kevin sent the family a significant amount of money to help cover funeral costs. And he'd stayed in contact with Patty, you know, through text messages and things like that over the years, and they've never been able to meet. And, you know, like I don't think Patty understands sometimes the lifestyle of, like, you know, like yesterday, for example, you know, like he had a flight at, you know, 10 a.m. He got into town at 12. He, you know, had to go to his hotel, get a rental car, had to be at the building, and then they do the show, and then he's back to the airport in the morning. You know, like there's not a lot of free time. And, you know, Patty has always asked me, you know, like, do you plan on seeing Kevin whenever WWE's in town? And, like, I've really not seen Kevin in person in years. You know what I mean? Like as far as like talking in person, face to face. And that's just kind of how it is in wrestling, when, you know, especially with guys at that level. They're just always on the move. But he had reached out to me last Thursday and asked if, you know, that was still her number. And I said, yeah. And then, you know, yesterday, late in the afternoon, he was like, hey, I'm gonna have her come to the show. And I was like, oh, that would be, you know what I mean? Like, by all means, like, take care of her, like, you know, before you get us tickets or anything, you know, like, I was like, Patty would love that. So, you know, he got tickets for Patty and Chandler's brother, Jeff. So, you know, Chandler's brother was also there to see everything, which was also, you know, like, Patty's getting kind of all the love on social media, but, you know, Jeff used to sell merch at AIW shows, like, has some like really funny stories of like the dark days of AIW and like Chandler like taking out loans from Jeff's Christmas money to pay people, which we laughed about yesterday. But you know, so like he got all that, and you know, a couple of us just were like, you know, we're just gonna go downtown and we're gonna drink and we're gonna run into people, and you know, if we go, we go. If we don't, we don't. But you know, we certainly wanted to make sure, you know, Patty was there. And then you know, I got contacted kind of closer to the show and said, you know, how they do it now is like all different. You know, you used to have to go to will call and stuff. Then it was just like, what's your email and all this stuff. And said, you know, I was going to get some tickets. And then he said, you know, Patty is also on her way down. You know, I don't know how she is with technology. Please reach out to her, you know, and help her out. And he said, I'm going to try to get you guys backstage today so I can finally meet her. So I was like, okay, you know, and I assumed that we'd be together, you know what I mean? And we weren't. We were actually seated separately. Patty was like located differently in the arena.
And that's like real quick too, not to cut you off, but like, as you know, like, cause we went to AEW and you've been to WWE several times, like that's not easy to coordinate and make happen, especially like you said, for somebody, Kevin, who's always on the movie, probably has a million things. That's like 3 or 4 people he's going to have to clear this with, names, gophers to go get people, pick them up. Like, it's not just like, hey, yeah, just come on back, come through the curtain. Like, he's going out of his way in a major way to make this happen.
Right. Which, I have a funny story about some of that, like I'll get to in a minute, but so it, you know, like we ended up going, and you know, our seats ended up being front row. I don't know like what happens if, you know, they put those seats on sale for a while, or you know what I mean, like I don't know, but like we ended up getting tickets and they were front row, which was like fucking sick, you know what I mean? Like if it would have been that, and you know, Patty is somewhere in the building. We didn't even know where she was at. You know, that would have been cool. You know, and like Kevin was texting me like right before the main event. He texted me. He said, "Hey, what are your seats? Find out specifically where Patty is at," because he didn't even know that we weren't sitting together. Mm-hmm. And so I reached out to Patty and I texted him, you know, where we're at. And he's like, okay, after the show, I need you guys to stay in your seats and I'm going to send people out to come get you. And then they're going to bring you to the back, which I was like, okay. So, you know, the whole thing happens, which is just like so much. And then he comes over and hugs me and he's like, did you talk to Pat? You know, like we have like a full on conversation while we're hugging. Like, he's like, did you talk to Patty? And I was like, yeah. He's like, make sure she stays in her seats. And text me when you get back there. And I'll come right over. Cause there's like a holding area kind of place back there, you know? So like, we weren't like in the thick of it back there, but anyway, so, we're sitting there waiting and we're trying to find Patty, and, security comes over to us to take us to the back, and you want to know who it was that came to get us?
Somebody you know, huh?
Ethan Wright.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he works at the Q, works for WWE, was just like booked for the day. I don't know, but like Ethan Wright comes over. He's like, "Hey, I was sent out to come get you guys for Kevin," and I was like, "What in the fucking world is going on right now?" So then, luckily, like they wanted to take us back, and I was like, "No, I'm waiting for Patty. I want to make sure she gets back here." And like we spotted her in the arena, and we sent some other guy specifically to go get her and Jeff and come back. And then they walked us backstage, and Kevin and Sami Zayn were there waiting for us. And it's just a super cool moment. You know what I mean, to see how happy Patty was. And she had she came prepared. She had figures for Kevin to sign and everything. So like,
oh hell yeah.
He signed some stuff for her and took some pictures with her, and she was just like so happy. And it's just like you can't put into words, you know what I mean, like being
right.
able to see that, like especially knowing what this week is and all that stuff. It was just one of those just like unbelievable like moments to kind of witness live, and then Kevin like talked to he talked to me for a while, and like he talked to all the guys, he talked to Bishop and Wes and Derek, who were all there, and they were like kind of taken back because he knew who everybody was, and you know what I mean, like it was just a super cool moment, for everybody all around. Like he's always been like an amazing dude, but like to just see like he's still that same person, you know what I mean, like nothing has changed at all. He's like 100% the best dude ever, and like he's always been that way. But sometimes the fame or whatever changes people. It has not changed him one bit. And it was just an amazing experience, honestly.
That's so awesome for Patty too. Who was she there? You said Chris's brother was there too. Jeff was his name. So he was Jeff back there too. He got to see all that. Yep. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he got pictures with Kevin too, and it was just it was super cool, and like then me, Patty, and Kevin took a picture together. And Patty sent me some real nice messages today. And it was just man, it's weird, like you just. I know you weren't really around for much of Biggins other, than your fandom. But there's so many people that are still around that like had such a great relationship with him, and it's like so difficult every show, for a lot of us to kind of work through all that, like there's like some deep, like I'm sure we all deal with some like deep psychological issues over the whole thing, honestly. But the one thing that is I thought about today is like I lost a partner, I lost a best friend. A lot of us lost a mentor or a friend. But I mean, AIW did gain a mother in Patty, and I think that is something that shouldn't be overlooked, because she does so much for everybody at shows, and I did send out some stuff on social media about it today, but you're back there when someone gets bloodied up, or somebody fluke accident happens. Patty and Jeremy are right back there with their EMT bags, and they're giving people medical treatment, and patching people up, and it's just that's it's so sad that Chandler is gone, but it's also so amazing that we've been able to bring Patty into all of our lives, and you know what I mean, like I don't even know, I don't exactly know like how to even word it.
I mean, it's crazy to think too, like like what you were saying with them with the medical stuff, and I mean, they come and do that out of the love for it, for in their hearts. They're not getting paid, EMT, that type of stuff. That, you could go do that for a lot of money. They come there and do that because they want to, because they want to be there. Who wants to go to their job and work 8 hours, then you come home and then they go sit there and, patch people up who are all bloody and, like you said, take care of everybody. It's really something incredible. EVP of Health, Jeremy, that's my guy. And Patty,
Patty.
I tell Patty, I sent her a message today. Patty, I joke around and say she's my wrestling mom because she's like always there, just like my regular mom. And she's like one of the first people who kind of like actually made me feel important at AIW. She she takes pictures with everybody, and that was one of the things. Like when Patty asks you, "Hey, we got to take a picture together," you made it in AIW. You're just a jabroni until that happens. And I told her that made me feel really important, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, I mean, it is so nice to have this mother figure around now for everybody, and kind of it probably certainly keeps us much more well behaved than maybe we would be if we didn't have the AIW mom Patty running around, right? It's just that is one of those, obviously nothing's ever going to replace missing Chandler, but it does, make me feel great that we've been able to kind of give Patty a place, and I'm sure it kind of, I'm sure it helps her, to be around all these people that loved her son so often, and be a part of it now. It's just, man, it's just like such a tough situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday was just unbelievable. You just can't, it's hard to put into words, just being there for that. And I know a lot of AIW fans were there, and, a ton of, the local wrestlers were spread throughout the crowd. But yeah, it's just an incredible moment,
Yeah, that's. I knew we'd have a lot to talk about with that today. With just a lot going on. Like I said, it's been a rough week for everyone. But yesterday, all that support and all that, I really think was great for everybody.
No, it's just like it just felt like for such a negative memory for everybody, it just felt like we've just been injected with this just like undeniable positivity in a weird way. It's just normally I try to kind of block out this memory of this date, and I don't have I try not to even remember the date, but like anything else, it pops up on social media, and it starts going every year, you know what I mean? So like I never really prepare for it, and like I just take it as it comes usually, and man, it's just like it's weird that, just the positivity that I feel right. I usually I'm pretty down and, just kind of, I'm real bad at like, experiencing or expressing, all that stuff. Right. And I usually kind of keep to myself and, just kind of, work through it alone. And it just feels like, there's just all this positive energy out there, and like it just feels really good for some reason, like there's so many people that just Chandler impacted and knew him, and I heard from hundreds of people today, like literally no exaggeration, hundreds of people, and it's just amazing to think, how many lives he crossed paths with, and how many people are still remembering him and thinking of him and missing him. It's just really incredible.
It's just it's the best way to remember somebody and honor somebody, is to keep, in my opinion, like you're saying, this should be every year. We should be this way and talking about them and your memories, and somebody's really not gone if you keep them around in that way. And
one thing that you're always looking for Patreon things and stuff to do. One thing I think would be a cool project, kind of like ongoing thing is, to just start collecting Chandler, like short little Chandler memories and stories with people.
Yeah.
And, we'll put that together one day for, for, if nothing else, for Patty to hear, because that's the one thing that she texted me today. She just said, social media is just so incredible with all the memories and stories being shared about Chris today. And, I know that stuff makes her feel really good. And, maybe that's something that we can work on going forward is, collecting here and there, little stories about Chandler. And we can kind of, I don't know, mix them all up one day or something and put it out there into the world.
Yeah, should definitely be doable. I was able to get the pod stuff going at the last show and get some stuff on audio, so it's definitely something moving forward. I'll have in my list of, hey, stuff, while I catch people for a minute, hey, give me a story, and we can definitely put that together. It's funny, you and I talk about how awful social media is all the time and how just in negative and all that, how it is. It's funny, it's nice to have a story, saying, like Patty said, how great it was, and a way for her to, because how else, she comes to all the shows and she was at Raw, but it's like, it would be impossible to hear all these stories, from all these people at one place or at one show. And, something like Facebook or Twitter, stuff like that can kind of, she can see all that stuff in one place. And, it's finally like a nice, happy story about social media for once,
Right. And I don't worry about myself, I know that I can eventually kind of move forward after this week, and I can put it on the shelf somewhere in my brain, and until it comes back around again. But for Patty, that makes me feel good that we can make her feel some sort of positivity, you know what I mean, or some sort of just happiness, even because this is gotta be, no doubt the worst thing that ever happened to her in her life. And, anything that we can do to help her, you know what I mean? That's just, I think that's what's important to everybody in AIW is at this point, is, always kind of, making sure, our now, adopted mom, Patty is doing okay.
Agreed.
Because I just know, I know it's tough. My grandmother, the whole generation above me has passed away. So all of my grandmother's children have died, and I see her deal with that every day. And it's just it's super tough. So I can't even imagine what Patty goes through, so anything that we can do for her is just that's paramount as far as I'm concerned, within AIW, and I'm just happy that everything has gone the way it's gone this week so far.
Yeah, you really couldn't ask for a better situation for this week. Like you said, it's just really great to see everybody sharing their stories and support and all that, and something we want to keep going forward with. So,
absolutely, and I would we just have to kind of, I hope, ride this momentum into the show Friday, and into Absolution and all that. You know what I mean? That's just that's the thing is we do these kind of doom and gloom podcasts sometimes, and things are really looking grim, and then it's just I think about this, and it's man, I gotta find a way for Chandler, you know what I mean, for Patty, for everybody, because if AIW goes away, there's not going to be so many people, quick to share those memories every year. Maybe there will be, I don't know, but it's just kind of
feel the weight of that, at least, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a motivating factor, to because there's been especially when it first happened, there were times where I just wanted to completely walk away from it because it was just so difficult to, you know what I mean? To like, just the weight of it all and doing it alone. You know, it's not alone, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different, it's
going from a team effort of you and Chandler together, you know, making all these decisions for how many years, you know, and then going to, like you said, solo. Obviously, there's a team of us, and everyone, you know, kind of helps you with everything.
It's just different, you know,
right?
Like, and like especially those, you know, those earlier years into it, like, you know, like that. There's a lot of times where I just wanted to kind of just like walk away from it, and you know what I mean, like put it on that shelf and like, you know, deal with it in 30 years or something, you know, like.
Do you feel like, because at least from a lot of the stories that I've heard, do you feel like, especially like now not having Biggins around, like sometimes you said like we get into these doom and gloom kind of situations with tickets about what's getting sold or what's not, you know, this or that. Back in the day, I've heard a lot of stories like you said. You just recently said, you know, Chandler borrowing from Jeff's Christmas fund to pay people. It seemed like Chandler was the guy that kind of bailed out a handful of situations like that, whether it was like taking a payday loan or this or that. He would come in and kind of swoop in and kind of help you out and like just take that burden off you.
And honestly, he would keep me in the dark, you know?
Right,
and
right,
like,
yeah.
Like, and he would just be like, oh yeah, we'll figure it out. We're going to be fine. You know what I mean? It always works out, you know? And like, you know, he was doing all these things, you know, to keep it afloat because, you know, it was his dream. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't come in the same way that I came in. You know, I came in through, you know, like I promoted a show when I was 15. I, you know, did all these things. Like I went and set up rings, and I went to wrestling school, and you know what I mean? I did all that stuff. And like Chandler kind of came in a different route, you know, through being a fan. So he kind of always felt like, you know, like he almost snuck in the back door, you know, a little bit. And he was not gonna you know, get pushed back out that back door. You know what I mean? No matter whether it was the business was bad or we were, you know, hemorrhaging money, he was always going to find a way to stick it out and, you know, stay living, you know, his dream, which was being involved in the wrestling business. So he would do all these things, you know, sometimes without me even knowing, you know, like, Monsoon Classic, another perfect example. You know, he had all these like he took out all these loans from Monsoon and stuff. And like we joked about that. We joked about that Saturday in Youngstown. You know, just like all these kind of like funny little things that Chandler did, and like you know, nobody knew except for him and that person. And then, you know, Chandler would always find a way to, you know, work it out and on to the next thing and anything to keep the company afloat. And you know, it's just he did a lot of stuff like that. So, you know, like when I think about the doom and gloom and all that stuff, like I also think like, you know, there's it sounds so stupid and like cliche, but there's like a higher purpose almost here, you know, to like continue to do this, you know, it's legacy of Chandler, you know, legacy of JT Lightning for Cleveland wrestling. You know, there's a lot of like that stuff. Like some people may not think anything of it, but like that stuff weighs like really heavy on me, you know, to do these things. And, you know, I made promises to these people that, you know, they would not be forgotten, you know, one way or the other. Yeah. And you know, like that's a heavy thing to carry around sometimes, you know, I'm not going to lie about that. And there are times like, you know, when you look at Friday and you look at, you know, as of now, you know, tickets seem a little light, and you know what I mean? Like it weighs heavy, but it's like, you know, so it's like, that's the thing is like we experienced that on last night with Raw, and then it's like right into, you know, like Friday night to where it's like, we got to find a way to, you know what I mean? To get over that fence and keep on moving, you know?
You feel like with wrestling, it's wild ups and downs where it's like, you know, we're down really low for Chandler. It's the week of his passing and all that, and then you have the moment with Raw and all that. And it's such a high, and then you go the next day and you're looking at tickets and you're like, you want to be
it's
really
like back to reality, you know. And it's just
you
just got to hope that this. You just got to hope that this momentum, whatever you want to call it, is like rides us into Friday night, and you know, like people come out and support, because you know it is like it's so much bigger then a wrestling show for a lot of us that knew Chandler, you know what I mean? And like, you know, it's like going, like every year, you know what I mean? Around this time, it's like you're going to a funeral all over again, kind of in a way, you know? And, you know, there's always a show kind of right around this time. There's always a show right around his birthday, you know, stuff like that. Like it just, everyone just feels a little different, I guess. And, you know, like, it's great to be around everybody, you know what I mean? And like, you want it to be a success, because, you know, that's what Chandler would want it to be. And, you know, it's just like you said, it's like a high, it's like a low, it's a high, it's a, you know, it's a low again. And like, hopefully Friday it'll be high again. You know what I mean? Like, you just, it's a wave. It's like up and down. And, you know, it's just, it really is a roller coaster wave. What do you want to call it? But, you know, it's a lot. And I just hope that, you know, like we could pull off one more miracle. And, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not too worried about Absolution. I've always been a little bit worried about Friday, you know, because also, you know, when we set this date, we didn't know Monday Night Raw was going to be here the same week. You know what I mean? There are negatives to all that too, you know? Right, so like, you know, there's just a lot, there's a lot. And I'm just hoping, you know what I mean? People listening to this podcast or people that have newly discovered us on social media this week, you know, come out and take a chance on Friday night and, you know, help us kind of, you know, cement that legacy, you know, like celebrate, you know, people call him Chris, you know, I've never called him Chris until, you know, after he died, honestly. He's always going to be Chandler Biggins to me. He's always Chandler to me. You know, I want people to come out and celebrate Chandler this Friday night. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are going to be, feeling, you know, all sorts of emotions this week, especially being at AIW so close to, you know, the date of his passing, and, you know, everybody's been reminiscing this week. I just want it to be a positive experience, and I want, you know, everyone to, like I said, it weighs pretty heavy on me, you know, and it weighs heavy on Pedro, and it weighs heavy on a lot of guys, you know, so, you know, we certainly just, we don't want it to be, we don't want to end the week on a negative, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird because, like, I'm not trying to hard sell it. You know, like, I'm just trying to explain, like, what it all means. You know, it's just one of those, it's hard to explain because, like, I don't want it to sound like I'm, like, shilling. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to, like, say it and it not be misinterpreted.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, sound like you said, like, shilling, like, please come out for Chandler, like that. But at the same time, I mean, you really, you know, you want to come out. You want that, like we said at the beginning of the episode, he would not want it to be silent. He would want everyone to come out Friday and get this thing rocking and show the Temple Live what Cleveland wrestling, what the business, what the company that he believed in is all about and what we can do. I you know, it sounds like you said cliche and whatever, but I mean, I didn't know Chandler as well as some of you guys do, but based on a lot of the things that I hear about him and the interactions that I did have, I think that's what he would want.
That's, I think, what I was trying to say. You know, like, it's just so it's just so weird because I'm not trying to, like, use it as like a marketing ploy. You know, like, it's just right. It's a weird thing to be, like, discussing it on a podcast and also having a show to promote Friday, and, like, it's just like, I don't know, like, we come into these things with no formats, you know, and I just, like, spout off whatever's in my brain, and then sometimes I, like, think, I go, oh god, like, somebody's gonna, like, misinterpret what I'm saying here.
Sometimes I think just the free form going, you know, just open it up and go is the best way to do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, this is like a therapy session. You know, I think you're my non-licensed therapist at this point. It's gone. You know, it's gone. It's there's been a couple people in the doctor's seat over the years on this podcast. R.I.P. Glenn Moore. Steve Guy, you know, he's still gonna pop back in and out every now and then.
We just recently discussed, and I know we discussed with you, one of these days we're gonna get together on like a Sunday and just do a bunch of reviews, you know, in general, and just bust out a bunch in a row. And then me and you could take a few weeks off. We can just play some of the ones we, you know, we get in.
We definitely want to get back to that, you know, Talking Heads full recap format that it was before. There's just been so many shows to promote, and we are gonna again try to knock some of that stuff out. And like we can always kind of pop in a beginning and an end, and then you know what I mean, like play those.
Yeah.
So we did have that talk today. Yeah, I don't know. That's just like like everything just coming out of my brain today, I guess, on this podcast.
It happens. That's the best way to move through it is talking about it, getting it out there, and like you said, want to remember these people and these things, and it weighs a lot on your shoulders, but it helps a little bit to kind of talk about it and get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're already freaking almost 40 minutes in. I don't know how much hard selling, card breakdowning we're going to do for Friday night at this point. But I will say, you know what I mean? Like, meet and greet with Devon Dudley. The Barbarian is also, I've been informed, going to participate in meet and greets. Paul London is going to be there. I'm sure he'll be meeting and greeting people one way or the other somewhere. I don't know, either at the gimmick table or the parking lot or the after party. You know what I mean?
Paul's a wild guy. Yeah, you never know what's going on with that guy.
He's a wild card. Kevin Owens was like, "Oh, Paul, you booking Paul London? That's awesome." That's what he said yesterday. We did change up the after party location. We do understand that not all the fans are like super into dive bar. So we're gonna try something different out. We're gonna leave the downtown vicinity, and we're gonna go back to First Stop in Parma, which was the site of the non-class Rager. They are looking to be fully staffed to accommodate us this Friday night. So it's about, 10, 15-minute drive from the temple to First Stop, real quick, right off the highway. Get everybody out of downtown, and, that's going to be where the after party is going to be at as soon as the show is over on Friday. First Stop in Parma. With celebrity bartender Party Parker Pierce.
My first ever AIW gig. That's where it was at First Stop. That Wrestle Rager we did there.
Yeah, we're just trying something different. They reached out to us. They were like really interested in bringing an after party there. They actually had a bunch of their customers come to the last Temple Live show. I think they might have even chartered a bus from the First Stop to the temple.
They did, yeah. They got a party bus. That was awesome.
Yeah. So, they're definitely down to kind of build this relationship up. So we're gonna give it a shot on Friday and see how it goes. They're gonna have food late, cheap drinks. So it should be a good time.
I'm excited. I like that place.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's like I said, it's kind of out of the I guess the hustle and the bustle of the downtown area. Gonna kind of get into a suburban watering hole situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're back to maybe less of a downtownish club, more to a dive bar. Not the same as downtown dive bar, but suburban watering hole, kind of smaller bar, which some of the fans had really wanted to get back to for the after parties. I know some of the after parties, kind of died down a little bit as it used to be in the back in the day, but we'll try this. Yeah,
we're trying something different out. You know what I mean? And First Stop has stepped up, and they're trying to accommodate, and they're trying to make it our place when we're in the Cleveland area. So we're gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. People think we're not listening to them, but we're listening.
We did an unofficial after party there the one time after the show, and great food. They served food late. All the food was really good. They got a bunch of stuff on the menu. It's a great place.
Paul is unresponsive.
Oh man, I wasn't there for that story, but I've heard it so many times and it makes me laugh every time. Can't wait to see Paul again.
Yeah, well, so hopefully it'll be a good time. You know what I mean? we have I think a crazy killer lineup for Friday night. And I just, I hope to pack it, like I talked to the Temple Live like today, where, as of right now, we're substantially under what we did last time there. But, we do have a few days to kind of push, and I just hope that we can, ride this momentum that's, going on right now on social media. I do realize social media viralness like has a short lifespan, but I just hope that we can ride it into Friday, and I don't know if we'll sell it out like we did the first time, but I would like to have at least something respectable, you know what I mean? Like we know the Cleveland area knows what a non-respectable wrestling show looks like in that venue. So let's just try to avoid that. Like we have things to prove, and reputations to uphold, and all that, and we want it to be a success. We want to continue to have a presence in the Cleveland area. That's the place right now. Like that's for us. That's it. Like if you see another show at another location, that place has, like there's some of these smaller promotions. They're getting these exclusivity clauses, so we can't even negotiate at those places. So I'm just going to take that out of everybody's heads right now. Like there's a lot of politics afoot in Northeast Ohio wrestling world. So, like we just want to continue to, show why we are the premier organization, and we can't do that without the fan support, and everything that has happened this week has been incredible, but like I was saying before, like we gotta ride it into a packed crowd on Friday night, one way or the other.
Yeah, it was it's going to be tough to top last time selling out like that, but I may feel like we can do it again. There's a lot of momentum from this week's the Raw and everything like that. I would like to see talking back to when we said about wanting to do the bigger room in there, stuff like that, or other rooms in that place. To accomplish these goals, we got to show up and show them that we can fill the building. So. What else you got to do on a Friday night? Come on out and enjoy some wrestling, right?
Yeah, and what's funny is they put that ECW did TV. They filmed TV in the big room in 1998, and it's on Peacock. And I believe it's like October 30th, 1998 episode of Hardcore TV. It's like around that time. It's from the big room in the Masonic Temple, and it looks so sick. And Fonzie's on there, like just jumping around talking about Cleveland, Ohio, and I was like, it's just crazy that it's 1998 and Fonzie was in this fucking facility. You know what I mean?
Little did he know he'd be back. Hanging with us again. Right.
I mean, it's crazy. One thing that I did speak to the Temple Live about today, because we know people are trying to avoid those fees when they can't avoid them. They are going to. They have their box office open, and it is if you wanna buy directly from the box office, they are able to take some of the fees off. The box office is open this Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I believe you can go down there in person, or you can call them, and you can. I believe you can order tickets over the phone. So anybody that's trying to avoid those fees, save a couple bucks, this Thursday they're going to have their box office open for AIW fans. You can call 216-881-6350, or you can go down there Thursday between 11 and 6 p.m. and buy your tickets in person.
So there you go. Yeah, if you have any, some people had some qualms with some of the fees. Well, understandably, here's an opportunity to get down there and and you said you can call and purchase them over the phone. You said.
I believe so.
So there you go. You don't even got to go down there. Just give them a call. Call. You should be able to pick up your tickets. We'll call when you get down there like that and save some bucks on the fees. I know you said free parking this time. That's still on the table, correct?
As far as I know, yeah, everything that's all still a go. Free parking. To Thursday box office, all that. They're gonna have the bar and food in the lobby-ish area on that first floor where the merch and the meet and greets are. I know that people didn't like that one bar upstairs, and the food I guess they had in like their other Jester's Lounge or whatever. So they're gonna kind of make that a little bit more accessible Thursday or this Friday, and like I said, Thursday you can buy tickets at the box office.
Excellent.
I just hope, like obviously at this point we're not going to break down the whole card, but I just hope that we can get a respectable amount of people in there, and it's going to be fun. Everything's no rules. Fans are permitted to bring weapons this Friday. All that stuff that is accustomed with the quote rap show that the AIW faithful fan base is fully familiar with and knows what that's all about. So everything is no rules, no DQ, anything goes this Friday night.
Let's get rowdy, AIW. That, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we're not going to go over the whole card, but a couple of standout things, like reasons. You got a couple people coming back. We got the return of Mance. If you haven't been to AIW for a minute, Mance has been gone for a little while. You got to come see Mance. You got
I know that there was some confusion because he was also announced for GCW, but that was a mistake, and he is 100% confirmed for AIW this Friday night.
There you go. Yeah, Mance will be there. A match you said you've had one of the craziest matches you could think of in a long time. Kaplan versus the Barbarian. Come on, it's Kaplan's birthday. How you gonna miss that? You got to come
Kaplan's birthday. It is
Kaplan versus the Barbarian.
Kaplan's gonna be very upset if he doesn't sell out of jerky on his birthday.
Oh,
I think he's bringing 200 bags. So we gotta get at least 200 people in there.
Man,
we got a while to go to hit that landmark still.
Paul London coming back, to Infinity and Beyond coming back again. You still got Shooters versus Derek and a mystery opponent. They have not announced Derek's opponent yet, or tag partner yet. Yeah, they're his partner. So, there's a lot to see this Friday. A lot to see.
Yeah, there's going to be a dark match, Sam Holloway versus Austin James.
Okay.
The dark match kind of fell through on Saturday that we had announced, which we'll get into when we recap that show eventually. But we are going to have a pre-show match, Austin James versus Sam Holloway this Friday night. I think it's a stacked card. I hope people come out. The return of the Bitcoin Boys in full force. Eric Taylor has been fully cleared to return to action. Yeah. This Friday night, so the Bitcoin Boys will fight to get their tag titles back from Money Shot, and an anything goes, no rules, no DQ match. There's just there's a lot in the show to like. I think on paper it's one of our stronger lineups. I hope people come out and support it live. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is like, if you don't support it live, we can't put these lineups together. That's just that's how it is. So we're kind of throwing down a big talent pool, and we're gonna see what happens. I hope people come out and show up and have fun, and it's a huge success. And then we ride it into Absolution on July 15th at the Tadmore Shrine with Eric Bischoff.
Hell yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Not sure what else to say, but
also, like, we are offering a free event Saturday morning in Hartville. So
yeah.
You could you technically could get 2 AIW shows for the price of one. Like, don't just go to the free one though. Be a cheapskate. You got to come Friday night at the Temple and then come to the free one on Saturday morning.
that Saturday morning one too I'm really excited. Hartville Flea Market is rad, man. You got to come check that out.
It's like a full on. It's like a full wrestling convention, toy convention this Saturday, and they have like a like a huge vendor room or whatever. Ahmed Johnson's going to be there. Savio Vega, Duke the Dumpster Drosy. AIW is going to do matches from like 12 to like 1:30. All sorts of things going on, So it's going to be a crazy busy weekend this weekend, and hopefully we fill the temple out Friday night. That's the big concern. You know what I mean? Is filling that Masonic temple, and this is what I would consider the go home show for Absolution. So you never know what could happen. Right.
Come on out Friday night. Doors probably 6:30 with the meet and greet, that type of stuff. First bell 7:30. Come on out to Temple Live and let's show them how we do it again. Let's show them that the first one wasn't a fluke, and that's how AIW parties.
And just I believe Devon is only going to sign pre-show. I don't think he's going to be back out for intermission.
So make sure you get there early. Get in there, like you said, that bar and stuff. The food will be open downstairs where all the merch and all that stuff will be. Come have a drink, do a meet and greet, and enjoy a great night of wrestling.
Yeah, I think that's really it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to kind of fully break down everything because we kind of had to talk about the big news of the week so far. At Raw with Kevin, but yeah, I don't know. We're not even taking questions this week, right? I don't think.
No, we really didn't. But some things take precedent, and this, it still leaves us an over the line review. Like you said, we're going to try to get together with a handful of AIW people, and maybe we'll take everyone's thoughts on over the line, and maybe we'll get this one, and then Friday nights we'll do a double review. We'll bank both of those, and then we'll be able to put them out.
I'll tell you where a good place to do that is when we're done at the Hartville Flea Market, probably.
I was just going to say, if we're going to hang out all day and all that may definitely be possible Saturday afternoon. So, all right. Well, anything else before we get out of here, John?
No, just premium tickets still available for Friday nights. We did add more seating this time for anybody that came last time and rolled the dice with general admission because all the premium seating sold out. We did add a fourth and fifth row this time, so there is more seating available. Obviously, if you're in that room, it could get tight in that standing area. So, I recommend getting a seat it guarantee you know where you're going. You don't got to get kind of lost in the abyss. If there is one, hopefully there is an abyss to get lost in. But,
right. And importantly, too, it's more seating in that area where you're looking straight ahead at the AIW letters, too. So it's not like, as I know some people had some concerns about sitting on the left or right-hand side in those corners with the stairs and all that. The extra seating was put in that back section. So you have a great vantage point, a lot of room.
We actually took seating out from the sides because of, we listened to some people's feedback on how it was set up the first time. So we've adjusted that. We added seating in that kind of dead center, looking right onto the entranceway. So that's where the additional rows are going to be. It's not going to be three sides of the ring. It's just additional rows on that one side, kind of looking dead center onto the ring and the entranceway.
Right. All right, well, for myself, for John Thorne, for AIW, we'll see everybody this Friday night for AIW's Bow Down. We'll see you guys Friday. Thanks.
Thanks.